Hi, I'm Mike the Healer Gut Guy. I healed myself of a nasty case of Crohn's disease. I had a really bad perianal fistula that looked like someone had smashed a tarantula in my pants. Very disgusting. But in this video today, we're going to talk about how to lose weight. And you're going to want to stick around because I'm going to show you something new that you've never heard before, and it's going to make much more sense than a lot of the other theories that you see flying around about weight loss. You know, why do competitive eaters, people who are just shoving food in their mouth literally every single day, eating some of these people literally eat like 10,000 calories in a sitting, yet they look like a normal person. You know, they're not super ginormous. And I've seen lots of people who are overweight follow strict diets and work out every single day for a year. I've seen this multiple times. I've seen people be really strict about this and not lose weight. I'm going to show you what is the difference between these two people. There's something radically different about these two types of people, okay? And I'm going to show you how to fix that and lose this weight for good and not have to go on these crazy diets and not have to suffer on the treadmill or whatever else, other things that you're trying to do. So that's what we're going over in this episode. All right, guys. So I said this is going to be new. So please try to keep an open mind, and it's going to make a lot of sense once you get it. So I was talking to somebody yesterday, and they wanted to work on this unexpected weight gain that just kind of came up out of nowhere. Over the last like 2 years of his life, he just started putting on weight. He was skinny his whole life, like me. And then 2 years ago, like 2 or 3 years ago, something happened, and he just started to put on weight. And so we're going to look at this from a German New Medicine perspective. And he was doing his homework. He got a brain CT scan, and sure enough, when he told me what was going on, I was like, "There's going to be a Hammer focus in your brainstem, at the top of the brainstem. If the brainstem, it looks like kind of like this. It looks like that, like on a CT scan, and then you got the rest of the brain. So for him, I predicted there's going to be a Hammer focus about here or here, and sure enough, there was one there. Those of you with digestive issues, they usually show up like in this area. But anyways, so this individual, he had all the puzzle pieces, but he hadn't put them in the right order and made sense of it yet. And it takes a little while to do that. So let's look at what's going on here. So when we have this unexpected weight gain, what Dr. Hammer, the founder of German New Medicine, saw, everybody who had this water retention, they just unexpected weight gain out of nowhere, he would look at their brain CT scans and he would see a Hammer focus, a ring-shaped formation in this location 100% of the time. Every single time, he would see a ring shape right here 100% of the time. Not 50% of the time, not 25% of the time, 100% of the time. I want you to recognize how important that is. And when someone didn't have a water retention weight gain, 100% of the time, these things weren't there. So what is going on there? So this last 2 years in his life were extremely stressful. And so I said, okay, tell me what was going on there. And so, first let's talk about the conflict theme. So the kidney collecting tubules is what do the kidneys do? They regulate the electrolytes, and they regulate the amount of water that remains in your body. But the kidney collecting tubules, it comes from this function, I guess, comes from the fish. And so when a fish gets kicked up out of the water, it literally has seconds to live. So what these kidney collecting tubules do is they cell proliferate, they get bigger, which makes the kidneys retain more water, and it makes the body retain more water. When you feel abandoned, when you feel like a refugee, when you feel an existence conflict. So what's an abandonment conflict? Let's say you get fired from work. Let's say your girlfriend or your boyfriend dumps you. Let's say your family abandons you. Maybe you get quarantined at the hospital. What would make you feel like a refugee? Not being able to go home because of COVID restrictions. Being locked out of your country. Being fired. An existence conflict. What could be an existence conflict? Having your doctor tell you, we're going to have to cut out an organ, that you're sick, that you have an incurable disease. These things can potentially be interpreted as like an existence refugee, feeling like a fish out of water. This activates the kidney collecting tubules like if you're stranded in the desert, like you need all the water you can get. If you're kicked out of the water and you're a fish, all life on Earth originated from the ocean. And even if you don't believe in evolution and you believe in the Bible, this rings true from the Bible as well, because God created the seas first and the life in the seas first. Our blood is the same composition as seawater. It's just a little bit more diluted. Our blood we're carrying the ocean with us. And so what these kidney collecting tubules is, when we experience this stress, remember, stress is a threat to your survival. And it puts your brain puts an organ into overdrive, the brainstem here. And that's why we see people with this weight gain, 100% of the time, they're going to have a Hammer focus in this location or that location, which means, this person biologically experienced an abandonment, refugee, and existence conflict. And what the body did, it put the kidney collecting tubules into overdrive to help you retain more water, to get you through this time where you feel like this, to help you increase your chances of survival through this, through these tough times. So what was happening with this one student here? So it kind of happened at the beginning of COVID. That's when he first started to notice this weight gain. So he had has a girlfriend. He lives in Europe, and the girlfriend lives in America. So, they have like this long distance relationship going on. And so once COVID started, before COVID, they used to travel a lot together and they got to see each other all the time. But now with all the travel restrictions, they can't see each other. It puts stress on the relationship, and that's not fun. So an abandonment, that you can feel like an abandonment conflict there. I can't see my loved ones. I can't see my girlfriend or my boyfriend. Then, when COVID first started, they were in a foreign country and they weren't allowed to get on a plane to go home. A refugee conflict. And to make matters worse, they were stuck like in an Airbnb for 3 months, and the hostess was just a big pain in the butt. So they felt like even more of a refugee. And then to make things even worse, so the kidney collecting tubules are like, oh, we can't get home. Like, oh, I'm going to, when is the next time I'm going to see my loved ones? So it's like really clamping on tight here. I mean, like literally in just a few months, he went from looking kind of something like me to packing on maybe like 20 or 30 pounds. And his whole life, he didn't change his diet. His whole life he'd been doing everything exactly the same. This is what changed, this stress in his life. But things were about to get worse. So while he was a refugee in a foreign country he didn't want to be in, he started taking a stimulant. He was having trouble focusing, so Adderall or something like that. Adderall is a stimulant. It makes conflict active symptoms more intense. So He's conflict active, and he's taking a stimulant, which makes him more conflict active. So the kidney collecting tubules are clamping even tighter, or growing even bigger to restrict, more, keep more water in the system. And to make matters even worse, his business started to suffer, from COVID. So there's an existence conflict. Now the body wants to close even more on these kidney collecting tubules, retaining even more water. And to make matters worse, he went to go visit his girlfriend, in her country. And every time he goes to visit her, it's a big pain in the butt. The border guards, the customs guards always give him a hard time, and they, threaten deportation. They interrogate him for 2 hours. He's not allowed to, they take away his phone so he can't text his girlfriend that, she has no idea what's going on. It's super stressful for everybody. These are the types of experiences that can cause our organs to go into overdrive and cause these symptoms. There was also another situation where, his mother was diagnosed with cancer. So, I'm sure that could be factored in as well. So the first step in getting better, using German New Medicine, we start with the symptoms. When did the symptoms start? What was a stressful situation happening in your life when these symptoms started? That's step number one. You have to identify what was the stress. Okay, and then once you identify the stress, you can do practical things. So what could this person do to get better? So there's multiple things he needs to address that would address the existence conflict. So he's worried about the business. He can't make enough money to support himself. So how can we address this problem? Well, one, you can fix the business, reduce expenses, get a job or whatever, these are just practical things. Or we can change our perspective on the whole situation. Even though the business is not doing well, this individual still makes a good amount of money. How do we deal with the abandonment, with the girlfriend issue? Practical way, we can learn more about female nature so that we can manage the relationship better. And if you are having girl problems, men, I suggest you watch Casey Sanders' channel. He will help you, navigate your romantic relationships better. Because, that's just my advice. They could move in together. That's tricky with all of the regulations. Maybe they could, I don't know. Maybe they can move in together or figure something out. Maybe, again, these are practical things. I don't know the situation. Maybe they break up and he dates someone who's in his country. There's multiple different ways to address this issue. Okay? Maybe just a change of perspective can fix all this. I don't know. It depends on the person. It depends on the situation. But now we know, the important thing is now we know what needs to be addressed to get better. Because before, this person was trying diets, the keto diet, the worst, most boring diet in the world, trying, going to the doctor and the doctor telling him he's insulin resistant, oh, your hormones are messed up, blah, 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 blah. No, the problem is the kidney collecting tubules are active, and it's like textbook kidney collecting tubules stuff right here. Abandonment with the girlfriend, tough times at work, feeling like he was locked out of his home country, and every time he goes to visit his girlfriend, it's a nightmare because of customs. But now that his brain knows that this is the issue, step one, identify the stress that's causing the symptoms. Step 2 is, okay, how do I resolve this? It's not going to happen overnight, but now that he knows this, he can start heading in the right direction. And it is a matter of time before he figures this out. So another symptom that this student was telling me a lot about is sometimes he gets frequent urination. And that's a good thing. That means on some level he has resolved this conflict. So think about it. Your body's retaining all of this water because it feels like a refugee. It's not going to have access to water, a fish out of water. So it's retaining this water. And then all of a sudden, he makes plans with his girlfriend. Oh, hey, we're going to go on vacation. We're going to do this and we're going to spend a month together. I haven't seen you in 10 months. Oh, I don't feel abandoned anymore. Okay, we don't need this extra water. Let's piss it out. And so he starts to urinate a lot. Oh, the business is doing not so good. Oh, the body needs to retain this water. This is the brainstem. This is old biological stuff. Like, this is the oldest part of the brain. This is very, very, very primitive, mechanisms going on here. I don't have enough money. The business isn't doing well. Oh, hey, look, we had a good month. Hey, things are getting better. All right, we don't need this extra water. We can relax. And then it urinates out all that extra water. Something really cool that Dr. Hammer used to do, and to prove how primitive this is, very old brain stuff, he would have people who had very bad kidney collecting tubule stuff going on, he would put them in a salt water bath. I think it's 1 kilogram. He would put them in a salt water bath. He would make a saline solution, so about 1% salt salinity, and because that mimics our blood. Or you could mimic the ocean, which is roughly 3%. Make a bath of that, and when you go into that bath, you're going to notice you're going to want to urinate because that brain, the lizard brain, the fish brain, it feels at home. It's back in the ocean. And it doesn't feel abandoned. It doesn't feel like a refugee anymore. And it can let go of that water it doesn't need. Just pee in the bathtub. I know it's gross, but, or jump in and out of the bathtub if you feel the urge to pee. But that's what your lizard brain is doing. This is biological stuff here, guys. You cannot control whether you're attracted to males or females. This is biological stuff. But we do have this indirect control over it now that we're aware of how our biology works. It's that simple, guys. So if you have any other questions, please ask them down below. I'm going to be making a video every single day. I'm getting back on the YouTube horse. I'm making a video every single day, so I need lots of ideas. I read all your guys' comments. It's hard for me to respond to them, but I read all your guys' comments. What questions do you have? What do you want me to explain from a German New Medicine perspective? I don't understand everything from a German New Medicine perspective, but I understand most of the gut issues, and I'm really excited to learn the other aspects of German New Medicine. So please, any symptoms, any questions you have, what do you want me to explain from the German New Medicine perspective? If you want my 30-day plan to recover from digestive issues, this is like me really kind of explaining the kidney collecting tubules for the first time. And it's going to take, multiple views of videos. Like, you need to watch a lot of these German New Medicine videos. There's not a lot of German New Medicine content to consume. And so my goal this year is to just flood the internet with German New Medicine to help you guys understand. But if you want my 30-day plan to get better, what me and my students use to get better, here's the 30-day rapid gut cell regeneration protocol. It's free. I don't even want your email. Just click. It comes. I have a video that explains it, and then I somehow fit my 30-day plan onto one day. So guys, thank you for watching. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell button, and leave a comment down below. What German New Medicine questions do you have for me? And if I don't know it, I have lots of resources to reach out to people and figure it out and make a video. I'm excited to learn about German New Medicine and to teach you German New Medicine. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.